All right, I'm live. I finally cut my hair. I cut it myself. It actually came out pretty good. All right, so I have been working the way I said I would. It's just this coronavirus thing. I don't even know what my future is right now, if I'm going to even have a job to go back to. But I'm still working on my comic book, and I just wanted to show off. I'm going to ink this live. I'm pretty sure I've got most. I've got it mostly worked out. Look at that. I got the big splash in there, and he's coming up behind the guy with the machine gun on the boat. Remember the guy hears somebody down the other way and blow right through the head, chow right through the head, and then he gets his fingers shot off as he's falling backwards, and then the air suit comes right up in. So I kind of got 2 pages with the air suit right up front like that, but that's all right. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty cool. So you'll open the book. Basically, the way it'll go is you'll open the book and you'll see this page, and then you'll flip it, bang, and then it'll be that page, and you'll see the aquatic armor come up behind the guy with the machine gun. Flip his wig, and then this guy comes flying at you in the foreground here, and the water's down below. And then the cloud. I had to get the clouds all. I wanted it to be where, like, it's like basically the way I had to be consistent with the light source, which is I got the moon reflected in the ocean right here, right? So, what I did was made it so that, like, you can see the clouds back here, so that in this shot, like, the moon is behind the viewer and the sun is setting. The sun is behind this guy, way on the other side of the horizon, but he's up so high that it's like dark down here, and then there's a layer of clouds, and then where he is up above the clouds, you can still see light on the horizon, but then it would get fade back to dark again as you get up towards the top. But yeah, so it'll go dark to light. Like, behind the panels, you'll see light and some more clouds, and then you'll see clouds, and then bang, you'll see the water down here underneath them, and it's all dark. And that's how that's going. It took me a little bit to figure that out. So I'm going to ink this page live, and it's coming together. This is from my comic book. If you're just joining me, you've never watched before, Archangels of Wrath. It's these 3 guys. It's mainly him, the main character, Nutjob, but he has 2 allies, and basically they are they're basically helping fight a revolution against basically there's been a coup within the government. I mean, this takes place years before the storyline even picks up, but you learn as you read that there was a coup, and the U.S. government was pretty much taken over by criminals, which is pretty much really the case, actually. So it side brushes with reality a little bit, and so the states have sectioned off, like, basically. The people have all polarized into different groups, and they're basically part of the group that is still trying to keep liberty, like, in the Constitution, and freedom and everything alive, the free world, basically. And basically they just happen by happenstance. He doesn't plan it out so much. You know what I mean? He's pretty sure he's going to die, but he's protected by God. This guy right here, he's a Christian. I know he looks mean in that picture, but that's because if you get on his bad side, it's he basically will kill you. But he's basically like George Washington. He's like the reincarnation of George Washington or Andrew Jackson or something like that. But he basically just by happenstance becomes like one of the leaders of the free world, and God, he has like basically he gets visions from God on how to build all this armor and stuff. And then he's joined by these other two Christians, and so it's a Christian-based comic, and I'm not doing it on purpose. I sort of am, because it seems like nobody wants to put out a decent Christian story, even though everybody talks about our founders like it's a fairy tale, and then nobody puts out like sort of Christian story or characters in honor of our founders, which they treat like a fairy tale when it's all supposed to be like so it is sort of me kind of doing it on purpose, but it's also just because I think it makes for good entertainment to have a Christian based hero who doesn't really have any superpowers. He's just blessed by God. He's just a regular guy that's blessed by God and has faith, and decides to protect the free world and himself. So there's that. It's coming together. Page 2, and I'll probably ink this. I'm gonna ink it live. You know what I mean? I might as well. It's pretty much all penciled out. I just I gotta look up some reference on guns, and I own some guns, but I gotta look up 50 cal machine guns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And just for a little bit of reference on like shading guns and stuff like that. I got my one viewer as usual. I don't know who it is, but yeah. So I thought you might want to see page 2 coming right along. Then on the next page, you see inside the boat he's in the main. I don't know what you call it on a boat, like where the cabin, in the main cabin on the yacht, on this yacht down here. You see inside the main cabin up top here, the machine gun is on like a little patio thing off the back of this cabin. See right there. And so the next, so he comes up over the railing, takes the guy, and I took off his ponytail. I had a ponytail on this guy. Now he's just like an Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dude. But yeah, so he comes up over the railing, takes this guy out, and then he lands back on the ship, on the yacht, and they go up to the doors of the main cabin. The next page you see inside the main cabin, and the bad guys are all scrambling around, like picking up their guns and pulling their guns out of their holsters, getting ready. And then this guy and the mob boss is talking, or their boss is talking to his partner, and you find out through dialogue, and he's just kind of like, I thought you said you can stop these guys. And he's like, that didn't sound like it doesn't sound to me like they were being stopped or whatever, and the guy's like, just hold up, and he's got like so his partner, so basically in the next shot they're standing outside the door, and they're looking through the door with their little x-ray, with their optics, their x-ray like heat vision or whatever, and basically they see basically his partner is just kind of like, this isn't over yet, and he's got like a 60 cal machine gun, like a huge machine gun. He's standing right near the doors waiting for him to come through, and they see him standing there with his gun. So the air guy launches he has different like options that he can launch out of here, and he launches like a smoke grenade like right through the door. and it hits the dude with the machine gun right in the forehead. I think I might have it stick like in his forehead and kill him, and he just falls back with smoke pouring out of his face, basically, and then everybody in the room gets gassed, basically, and they come through the door and just waste everybody. The Archangels of Wrath come through the door and just waste everybody in the cabin, and then they look through the floor. You see drugs packaged up, and they and you see suitcases full of cash. They grab all the cash and they just set the boat on fire and leave in their sub. They have a little submarine. Where is it? Right here. I'm just giving you a lowdown of the first opening scene. Yeah, they have a little submarine right here in the beginning that you see that they can hide out in. They can lay low in for long periods of time underwater. So I just thought I would give you a little update on the artwork for this page, and it is pretty much done and ready to go. I'm not getting super detailed with it with the pencils. Just have to know, where the like I'm not refining them down because most of it I'm going to do with inks. So I'm just getting all the dark areas and the light areas, and you know what I mean. Just getting everything in its place, and where like I had clouds behind them, then I took the clouds out. Then I forgot there would be gun smoke. I don't know if you've ever fired if you've ever fired a real gun before, but generally there's a lot. If you're firing, a 50 cal machine gun, there's going to be gun smoke. So I took out the clouds and put gun smoke in instead. And yeah, that's how that's going. So I just wanted to show you guys. I thought you might like to see an update on the comic book and how it's going. Archangels of Wrath. They're a group called the Archangels, and they fight mechs, evil. They fight evil basically, which comes down to mechs. Evil foot soldiers. You know what I mean? And also there's a non-human element where I start introducing monsters and stuff like that, genetic mutants, and genetic creations and of the evil, basically the evil forces that are I think I might introduce basically Nephilim, which are basically genetic mutations that the evil forces create and stuff like that. I'll get more into it. And they have to protect town, like sanctuary towns and cities and stuff like that, from like the forces of evil. And so hopefully when it comes out on Indiegogo, you'll support it. Once again, it's called the Archangels of Wrath, and that is the comic book that I am working on currently. And thanks for joining me. This is Kingdom Comics. I'll start. I'll start doing once I get more pages together and inked and everything. You know what I mean? And I'll start doing some. I'll start promoting it a little more. It's just right now it's in such early stages. I want to get at least about four a cover and maybe 3 or 4 pages done. So thanks for joining me. Until next time, this is Kingdom Comics.